Welcome into WCNC Plus, guys. Inside the Impact Studio, we have a live interview starting out our 7 o'clock hour here. Dr. Nilay Shah is here with us and talking about a fundraising campaign that is near and dear to his heart. And we have Johanna Hampton, who is a cancer survivor, kind of bringing awareness here to blood cancer research and all of the fundraising opportunities that folks here in Charlotte can get involved with. Folks, let's start with the awareness part, because I think a lot of people talk about cancer research, right, and how that impacts people's lives. Well, here we have Miss Hampton, who has been a cancer survivor, has been impacted by the disease itself. So we'll start with you, Ms. Hampton, and talk a little bit about how you guys met, how you met Dr. Nilay as well, and a little bit about what this fundraising event looks like. We'll get into that and really how people can help out. So I want to hear about your journey, Ms. Hampton, though. Talk a little bit about what transpired in your life.
Absolutely. So I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia back in 2019.
Okay.
Typically, it's a pediatric cancer, so a little bit unusual that I was diagnosed at 19 years old.
Wow.
But I was put on a clinical trial that was actually partially funded by Blood Cancer United, formerly the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Okay.
Did 2.5 years of chemo through that, and thankfully made it to the other side. And I'm now working for Blood Cancer United, the organization that helped fund the research that essentially saved my life.
Wow, that is full circle, and I think that's why we again talk about being able to grasp how this fundraising effort actually impacts people's lives like yours. So it's great to have you here. Appreciate you sharing that. Dr. Shah, let's talk about your passion. You've been obviously researching on this. This is something we've discussed before at DKMS here in Charlotte as well, and something that you really want to create awareness on. So let's talk a little bit about how this is impacting people here in the Charlotte area, or really United States as a whole, and this fundraising effort. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure. So Blood Cancer United it's a national organization. Their purpose or their mission is to support research, support awareness, provide just access to healthcare, and really just help patients and families navigate blood cancers. My role here in Charlotte, I'm a leukemia and stem cell transplant physician at Atrium Health Levine Cancer Institute. So this kind of falls in my wheelhouse. I was lucky enough to be nominated to be one of their visionaries of the year, which is essentially a campaign to raise funds and awareness and support for Blood Cancer United. So I'm proud of the organization. I'm proud to be working with them. And any support we get, whether it's through awareness, through funds, through just sharing, everyone's story, I think it helps.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like we said, letting folks know really how this fundraising effort is going to go. So talk a little bit about, right, how people can donate and really what that money goes to, on a baseline. A lot of folks, right, they want to talk about their return on investment in some sense, right, when they put in fundraising funds, where that goes, how they would even see the impact. So kind of explain to people how they can get involved and engaged here.
Sure. I think there's multiple ways in which you'll see your return on investment here. I think from a big picture standpoint, they help fund clinical trials, which hopefully help get cutting edge therapies, which hopefully get to the word that everyone wants to hear, is cure.
Yeah.
But that's on a grander scale. I think on a smaller scale, what you see is direct patient intervention. So cancer care is expensive, regardless of where you stand in life, what insurance coverage you have.
Yeah.
There's direct access to funds through the Blood Cancer United, and I've seen it with my own eyes. Patients get deductibles taken care of, they get co-pays, they get assistance with medications, with transportation.
Yeah.
And so I think the return on investment is enormous, both small and large picture, and I think it helps all of us. So it helps me help patients kind of get where they need to go.
Yeah. And I guess, Ms. Hampton, your experience, I'm sure going through that, and I guess I wouldn't know, so I shouldn't say that, but I would imagine that when you start out, sometimes you hear, I spent some time at Ronald McDonald House in Cincinnati, and sometimes you hear this common thread that people sometimes, once they get some type of diagnosis with cancer specifically, right, they don't know really where to start. And I think that's kind of where mine goes, is when I would get this diagnosis, if I did, my mind would be racing, right? Where to start? Who would I go to? Do you think this makes it easier from a support standpoint, knowing that these individuals are working hard behind you and not only trying to find a cure, but also trying to find the funds to make sure that everybody can be, in the seat that you're in?
Absolutely. I think our organization is built on three main pillars, and that's research, patient support, and policy and advocacy. Dr. Shah touched a little bit on the research side, where it's really funding the breakthroughs in research that are leading towards ultimately a cure. The patient side, it's the financial assistance, but one thing that was really helpful for me is bloodcancerunited.org. It has everything you could possibly need, and when you're told that you have cancer or something specific like leukemia, I think it's a doctor's worst nightmare, but every patient's first defense is they go to Google and they go online and they try to find as much information that they can. And Blood Cancer United is a great resource where we've got trusted research that patients can feel empowered in reading and knowing what they're going through, and getting them connected to other patients going through similar things. So it's just really a great way for patients to feel empowered, knowledgeable in this situation that they're going through, and then being able to find support, whether that's financially or in other areas.
Yeah, and I think we've done some stories, and even the national news has done stories on insurance companies, dealing with certain issues, certain illnesses, and I know that can be another worry for people who are diagnosed not with just blood cancer, but any other type of cancer. And I'm guessing these type of fundraisers, these funds can help people in that respect. I can't imagine getting a no from an insurance company that you can't get the care that you need, right? And so I think that's a big part of this as well. Can you talk about how you guys work in tandem, making sure that people can get the the services and the help that they need as well?
I was gonna say you.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right.
Who's ever better at that?
Insurance policies, I mean, for the most part, are great at providing the care they need, but there are gaps. And it is frustrating, I think, from all ends when there's not coverage for something that is needed or warranted or by the book. And despite appeals, they take time. And so it is nice to lean on charitable organizations or foundations or grants that have funds stored away for patients and for providers to help patients get the treatment they need. It's,
right.
I can speak for Blood Cancer United. I've partnered with them for 15, 16 years now. When patients get diagnosed, we help fill out grants for them immediately, whether they qualify or not.
Okay.
Sometimes they get through, sometimes they don't. But for those that do, they basically just get a lump sum of cash right off the bat. And that can help with just a wide variety of things, whether it's for your care, whether it's for things you need at home, whether it's to help pay rent. I mean, there's all sorts of things that sometimes we forget about that are important in ensuring that life goes on even beyond your cancer treatments.
Especially if it impacts the main caregiver of that home, the parents, who knows. So again, it's a blessing to have both of you guys here talking about this, because I know that folks who are going to listen to this may be impacted by it. So this is huge. The fundraiser itself, and I know you guys, wanted to get a QR code. Sorry about that. We couldn't get that on with this. Yeah, you could flash it, but I'll make sure we get something online to make sure that people can link to this super easy. But outside of that, Dr. Shah, Ms. Hampton, what and how can people be of service and really try and address this need that you guys are creating awareness on that is needed, right? How can people get engaged?
I think there's numerous ways that people can get engaged in their community.
Okay.
If you go online to bloodcancerunited.org, there are many different local events that you can get tapped into. But then again, on the awareness piece, I think it's raising awareness on the need for raising critical funds to support things such as research, financial assistance, and then other patient support programs.
Okay.
So familiarizing yourself with all of the different things our organization offers is really a great way to start.
It's a great point. And they have until June 6th of the date, Dr. Shah?
For this specific campaign,
okay.
For my visionary campaign, yes. I'll throw a shameless plug out there, Colin, is it Open Tap Brewery on Carmel Road, May 17th, noon. We're having a Mahjong tournament / fundraising event. All proceeds will go towards the Blood Cancer United Visionary campaign. Everyone's welcome to come, of course, and support and join in on it.
No, it's a great pitch. That's awesome. That's another way for people to get involved. So I'm glad that you said that. You didn't spend much talk about the visionary. I know you don't like to talk about yourself, Dr. Shah, but I do want to commend you, because I think it I wouldn't know this personally, but I'm sure that you've put in so much effort over the last 20 years, if not longer, not necessarily just on, your work, but especially with DKMS and, blood cancer as a whole. It's something that we don't necessarily hear a lot about. And, before I met you, I didn't hear a lot about it, but I'm grateful that that there is someone who is on this trail and really looking for a cure, because as we said, it is impacting people, and clearly they picked the right man and woman for the job. Both of you guys are in tandem here working on this. So talk about a little bit of the visionary, what that means. I know you don't want to spend a ton of time on that, but it seems like there's a lot of responsibility put with that title.
I think it's important to remember that it's not just me. There are several other nominees around Charlotte and around the country. And then it's basically members of the community who are willing to try to give back in some manner. And I'm honored and humbled to be nominated, and I'm happy to help. You're right, I spent a lot of my time doing this, but we've heard the phrase, it takes a village. I'm just doing my part.
Right.
I love my job. I love seeing the progress. You said 20 years, it's not quite there, but
okay.
It's dramatically different from when I started versus what it is now, and I look forward to seeing what the future holds here.
I didn't mean to age you. You still look very young.
I appreciate it.
Yes, man. My friend. All right. Well, both you, I appreciate both of your time. Appreciate you guys sharing, both your stories. What else am I missing? Can we pull on the heartstrings of Charlotteans anymore? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Ms. Hampton, I'll ask you first. Anything that comes to mind?
I would just say I think blood cancer is one of those things where you don't realize how prevalent it is in the community until you're a part of it. And it's not a fun club to be a part of, but once you're a part of it, you realize that there's so many people around you who have some sort of connection.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of our candidates here in Charlotte are finding as they're doing their outreach and reaching out to their community, is that there's a lot of people who have been touched by blood cancer or cancer specifically. So everyone has a part in this, and like you said, it takes a village, and so it really does.
Well said. Well said. Dr. Shaw, anything else you want to wrap it up with a bow here?
Listen, Colin, I appreciate you having us on. I appreciate you helping us spread the word.
Of course.
To anyone watching, just share the word, spread the news about Blood Cancer United and the good work they're doing. And it doesn't have to be a financial support. Support comes in many ways.
Right.
And we appreciate all of it.
Right. Come on and play some mahjong, man. You can do that. And we love supporting people that are passionate about something that we're passionate about. So I appreciate, again, both you guys coming on, talking about this, and we'll continue to report on it and trying to help spread the word. Because if it's impactful, it's going to be impactful to somebody that we know very soon. So again, thank you both. We're going to take a 2-minute break. Everyone here on WCNC Plus listening in and watching, don't forget to look for that QR code. We'll make sure to put that either online or through this app here, and you can link and join and maybe head to some mahjong as well May 17th. So again, thanks to our two guests, and thanks to you for listening in. We'll see you in 2 minutes.